right, this is the Algebra 1 Summer School Unit 2, Lesson 3, Writing Equations of Lines, Part 2, Practice Video. I'm going to do a few problems with you here today. If you have questions on any of the other problems on the practice, which there are a lot of other problems, and you're not sure how to do them, please go to Canvas and look at the practice key that's posted there, or come into office hours and ask your instructor. All right, I'm going to do one of each kind of problem that we did on the notes. The first problem, we're going to write the equation in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, given the slope of -5/3 and through the point 0, -4. This problem is super duper easy because what they gave you, whoops, I dropped my pen, is the slope of -5/3. So I can right away say, okay, I have y equals -5/3 x, and that's 0, -4. That's the y-intercept. We like when they give us the y-intercept, so I can say -5/3 x minus 4. Once I gave you that information, all you have to do is graph the line. So I start on my y-intercept of -4, and I use my slope -5/3 to do rise over run. Means I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right, 3. Run is always to the right. All right, I'm going to do the same thing here. Down, up 5/3 the other way. All right, and one more time. All right. From there, I'm going to connect my dots and at least verify that the 1 point they gave me is on this line. Seems that 0, -4 is on the line, so I'm good to go. So that's number 2. Let's do another problem with a little bit more work involved. I'm going to do number 6 here. I'm given the points -227 and 2, -9. What I need to start with is decide if they gave me the y-intercept. It doesn't look like it, so I have to do the long process where there's a template on Canvas if you want to use in order to help us. First of all, I start by calculating the slope. In order to find the slope, I'm going to take y2, which is -9, minus 27. Then I'm going to take the x's, 2 minus -2. Now, when I am looking at 9 minus 27, -9 minus 27, that ends up being -36/4. Well, a negative divided by a positive is always negative, and 36 divided by 4 is 9. So I know I have the slope of -9. That's a good thing to know. Now I'm going to use the equation y equals mx plus b in order to help me keep things organized to find the rest of the equation. I'm going to use that slope of 9 and also use the point 2, -9. All right, so I'm going to stick in for y here the y value of -9. Then I know I have the m, this slope, of -9, and the x value here of 2. I'm searching for b, so I leave it as the unknown variable b. I'm going to go ahead and multiply -9 times 2 here, which is -18, so that I can go ahead and solve that equation for b. In order to get b by itself, I end up having to add 18 to both sides, and -9 plus 18 is +9. That's the y-intercept of my equation. Now that I have that information, 9 equals b, and the slope of -9, I know my equation in slope-intercept form. Y equals -9x plus 9. All right, so that's a really steep slope, but that's okay. Let's plot this line and then see if we can make sure we got it right. Y-intercept of 9. Oops. My slope is down 9/1 and down 9/1. I am going to connect those points here, and I can look at that graph and see that for sure 2, -9 is on that line. However, it's hard to tell if -227 is actually on that line because the graph doesn't go that high. If I wanted to check that, I would use my calculator. So I would go to my y equals on my calculator and type in negative 9x plus 9. And I'd go right to the table. It appears here that negative 2 does give me the output of 27, and 2 gives me the output of negative 9. So my table will tell me really fast, without even graphing, whether or not I have the correct equation. All right? One more problem to do on the practice, and it's one with a table. I'm given the table here. All of those points, remember, represent ordered pairs. So the first thing I need to do when I look at this table is decide, do they give me the y-intercept? Remember, the y-intercept always has the x value of 0. This table is really nice. It does give me the y-intercept. The y-intercept is 0, 9, which means my b is going to be 9. I also have to find the slope. So I'm going to pick any 2 points I want. I'm going to pick the point 1, 12, and 0, 9. Okay, so I'll write 1, 12, and 0, 9. Those are going to be my 2 points that I use to calculate slope. So what I have here is, I'm going to use 9 minus 12 over 0 minus 1. 9 minus 12 is negative 3. 0 minus 1 is negative 1. And when I simplify that, negative divided by negative gives me positive 3. So 3 is my slope. Now that I know the slope, now that I know the y-intercept, I can write the equation of the line. Y equals 3x plus 9. Now, if I wanted to check my answer here for the table, I'm going to go ahead and use my calculator one more time. I'm going to go in and type the equation 3x plus 9 into my calculator. So I'm going to have, and erase those circles here. Y equals 3x plus 9. Now, I'm going to go right to the table this time, and I want to see if the table looks like the table that I have on my paper. So I go back to my paper, I have negative 2, 3. Well, the negative 2, 3 does appear to be here. So does negative 1, 6. All these numbers on the table are on the table on my paper, so I know I did my work correctly. All right, there were lots of problems on that practice. This is a tough lesson, so make sure you do the other problems. If you have questions, reference the key that's posted on Canvas, or come into office hours and ask your instructor for help.